No.
Or did you save the diaries, or did it come to you?
Well, I certainly never had any intention of publishing my diary. I mean, that's ridiculous. I don't know I'd ever do that again.
Do you keep a diary for every project?
Not for every project, no. I haven't kept it. I started to keep a diary when we started the play.
Right.
And I think that sometimes I keep going back to Cahill Gibran, you know. I don't think that I'm uncomfortable with my thoughts. I think that everything that the process has been so fulfilling that sometimes you keep a diary because you need to reflect on the experiences that are having, because they're so traumatic, they're so confusing, that you need to be able to write them down to get them out of you, but also to be able to try to make sense of what's happening to you. And that, I mean, Carrie and I were a young couple. We were having our first child. Carrie was going through an unbelievably difficult pregnancy. That was, you know, kept from me that she knew that she was going to have a cesarean, that it was that she may not go full term, and she didn't. It was 7.5 months. So all of these things that she was keeping from me, there was so much turmoil. My manager died, who had represented me my whole career. He died of a brain tumor. My father had a heart attack. Chernobyl happened right after our son was born, and radiation was spilling all over London, but it wasn't from Chernobyl, it was from a nuclear reactor right in London called Sellafield, or Sheffield, something. And they said, don't worry unless you're a nursing mother, which my wife was, and they said, if you are a nursing mother, take salt with iodine. It was kind of like when the nuclear bomb drops, crawling under the desk so you don't get hurt. It was ridiculous. So there was just lots of turmoil in my life. So keeping a diary was a great way for me to be able to understand what was happening to me in my personal life. And the photographs, I just fell in love with this camera. It was a friend of mine, Joe Kelly, gave me a Rolleiflex and said that it might be a great way to crack the ice with Stanley Kubrick because of his photographic background. He said if you understood how to use the Rolleiflex, it might be a great way for you guys to become friends. And it was, and I mean, the first thing Stanley said when he saw my Rolleiflex was, what are you doing with that old piece of shit? And he talked me into buying a whole brand new, very expensive, modern camera that he wanted, that I had no interest in. And I fell in love with this twin lens reflex camera because I'm dyslexic, and anybody who's ever looked down through a Rolleiflex, everything's backwards. Everything's kind of upside down and backward in a beautiful way, and the whole world made sense to me. You know, that, oh, look, this is the way I see the world, and it's coming through, and it's a great, great camera. And unfortunately, the one that I used to take all those pictures while I was making another film in London a few years later, called Jack and the Beanstalk, The Real Story, somebody broke into my apartment and stole my camera.